G'day and welcome to episode 2 of the BGA Vlog. We've got Keen, Wayne and myself here for another session. We've got plenty to talk about, boys. We've got Sam Newman's Paliamant protest, Michael Jordan's last dance, the T20 of golf. What does that look like? Idiots ripping up greens, greenkeepers. Wayne's checked in, see what they're up to. And as usual, we'll look at the backyard setup, new toys for the week, and finish with our funny story. So straight into it, boys. Which one of those topics caught your interest? And let's get into the conversation.
Yeah, well, it was funny. Just before we started, I had a phone call from my dad. He said, "Oh, have you seen the news?" And I said, "No." And so apparently Sam Newman's taken a protest to Parliament House. He's now up on the front steps of Parliament House, refusing to leave until he talks to Daniel Andrews about why golf should not be allowed.
So this carries on from our conversation last week. Different rules in different states. Has anyone changed their opinion? Where do we stand?
So just an update. I mean, we had some course closes over here in WA, in Perth. Majority of them are back open now, playing in 2 balls and with larger gaps. But I know that, obviously you guys in Victoria at the moment and Melbourne are still in full shutdown. So very different, as we said, in each different part of Australia at the moment.
Yeah, I think over here for us, there's a lot of people hanging to get out. And I still feel like people are just torn between what to do. So we don't want to spend too much time on it today. But nonetheless, I wouldn't mind going and joining Sam up on the steps. And be interesting to see if he does have to pull out his rangefinder to measure 1.5 meters between him and the next person. But good on Sam for sticking up for it. We had, there was Kerry Ann Kennelly. I don't know if you heard her on Studio 10 on their breakfast show. Went pretty hard at the at Parliament as far as playing golf and participation of golf during these times, and why you can exercise, why you can't play golf. But I think we still sit where we were last week. We're all confused. We don't know what to do. We want to do what we want to do, but we want to do the right thing, and none of us know exactly what that looks like.
Just before we roll on, and Wayne did bring this up, did you read the comments from last week's video?
No, not all.
No, you didn't see it?
About?
There was a comment there saying Wayne talked about his dad last week as well, right?
Yeah. And
they said, is Wayne's dad 110 or something? Because Wayne's old already. So how does that work? Like, what do you, Wayno?
I was wondering where you're going with that one.
So hang on, who made the comment? Was that you? You like?
I just made it up myself. I thought it was pretty funny, but anyway.
I'd normally give you the bird at this situation, but we'll keep it PG rated.
Let's keep going then.
All right, next on the agenda, guys. I'm looking forward to it. I know Wayne loves his basketball. But this Sunday US time, so Monday for Australia, will be Michael Jordan's last dance. And more so, it's about the last year of the Chicago Bulls dynasty, where they won their second three-peat and following them through the course of the year. So is this when he was playing? Is this his golf documentary about when he played golf?
Yes, he loves to play golf.
When he was with Bugs Bunny and he got pulled in the hole.
Yeah.
No, but the interesting thing that I raised. So we shared a video recently of Tiger getting interviewed by some of his team and around his persona and his attitude. This documentary, in Jordan's own words, he's fearful of the way people will perceive him, and finished with a quote basically saying there's a price to winning. Do we have issues in modern day golf where the guys are too matey?
Why not?
As in the players?
Yep. Who on tour now has that same killer instinct of a Michael Jordan? And even if you look at basketball, it's not too dissimilar, but relating it to golf, the guys are all, look, I got to spend some time with Ricky, could not say a bad thing about him, absolute top bloke. But when you look at him, he is the nice guy on tour. He doesn't have that killer instinct. Does that impact his ability to close? Does it impact his ability to win events? Whereas, as you heard about Tiger, you hear about Jordan, the great ones, they are zoned in, they're focused, and in Michael's own words, there's a price to winning.
Well, look, I'd probably say there's probably the 2 golfers that come to my mind are probably not my 2 favourite golfers, and one's probably everyone's least favourite golfer. But I think Bryson DeChamp, whatever his name is, has that really focused I suppose, outlook with everything that he does, and he probably is not, for that reason, has become probably not a good friend of our other players that are out there. And the other one is that big dead set muppet that everyone loves so much, Patrick Reed. I really think that he isolates because no one else wants to talk to him.
When you have to cheat to win, you don't even come to the conversation of
Exactly right. Exactly.
No, and I think on DeChambeau, I think it's more the slow play, right, that everyone hates, unfortunately for him. But I think you're right. I mean, there needs to be there's some sort of level of competition and not you call it matey, or call it whatever you want, but there needs to be that killer instinct, as you said, to be the best.
Well, look at it now, right? You've got players waiting for other players to finish and giving each other hugs at the end of winning a tournament when they should be their rivals. They should be pissed that guy just won and they didn't.
Yeah, no, see, I disagree with it a little bit. I think it's a good, healthy relationship they have. They spend so much time on tour together. They spend so much time away from the golf course together. Golf is not really that one game. Yes, Tiger has had that dominance, but you don't see him being dominant week in, week out. There's always somebody else will have that good 4 rounds and they'll come up and they'll win. Yes, there is that the arrogance, but I don't think they're too matey. No, personally.
Yeah, I like it when you see Ricky and JT and Jordan get together and they're doing silly stuff on the weekend. It just shows it's pretty cool outside of golf that they can be like that, and on the golf course they want to beat the crap out of each other. So there's a bit of give and take, but I think when it comes down to that killer instinct, I mean, no one had it like Michael Jordan, or no one had it like Tiger Woods. I mean, you look at even LeBron James, who's meant to be the best basketball player now, right? And many debate about him and whether he has a killer instinct to actually close a game.
Like a coach.
So yeah, I love LeBron, but it's that sort of next level. It's that killer instinct. It's I'll do anything to win. I guess that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
But I think one of my favourite things was, and I know we all spent time down there together, was President's Cup, and you see the relationship those players have with each other, and it's probably the only opportunity they get to play in those team event type things. But just the bounce they get off each other and the relationships that they form and things like that. And like you look at the American team play together quite a lot, but the international team, there was lots of players there who probably haven't played a lot of golf together, but it was quite amazing to see how quickly they formed those bonds. And there was a lot of background videos that were out there with like Leishy out there on one of the fairways at Royal Melbourne teaching all these guys how to kick footballs, which they'd never done in their life. And it was, that type of stuff is just priceless. I love that sort of stuff. But one just quick thing I want to add to it, there's one of my favourite ones that I watch, YouTubes that I watch, is a guy called Eric Anders Lang. And this guy now is very, very famous. He gets in anywhere that he wants. He posted up last night or the night before. He went up, he was at the TaylorMade launch day a couple of months ago, but he launches these videos sort of randomly. But he went up and he got an opportunity to meet Tiger Woods. And Eric Anders Lang, who's quite a famous guy now, who's met everyone, it was quite amazing to see how daunted he was by actually going up there and meeting Tiger. And it was, he said, look, he's spoken in front of the USPGA, with his views on golf and things like that, and he's quite famous for doing it. But he said he's never been so he's just so nervous he's ever had in his life. So if you get a chance, it was quite. But it's just that persona that Tiger has, and that that everyone, I suppose, someone like him, he felt look, you got to watch it. It's really, really interesting to watch.
See, I'm all for this stuff that you guys are talking about, like Ricky and JT hanging out outside of the events and otherwise. But that white line fever, when you cross that line, you are a competitive beast. And I think for me, Koepka is probably number one on tour for having that right now. And then probably second to that would be Dustin Johnson, other than obviously Tiger. And then maybe Rory you can fit in there as well. Those 3 guys are the guys that stand out as far as when I cross that line, it's me versus you. And I'm taking you down. And is that the difference between those guys notching up actual wins on tour instead of just placing well week after week?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, look, I'm trying to think. The last guy that was similar to Tiger was probably, Greg Norman. I can't think of any other, golf competitor out there that just had that. And Norman didn't win like Tiger did he?
But then there's a couple of guys that I thought were going to get it. I thought Jason Day was going to be that guy. I thought Rory was really going to be that guy. But it's like the culture of the PGA Tour got the better of them, where they got into that matey laugh on the course while you're in the middle of a round thing. And that then impacted, and you can see the correlation in their results. And you look at Rory now, it's like he's gone back to being a bit of that more killer instinct focus when he's out on the course. Again, out of the course, fine, do whatever you want to do. But when you cross that line, it'll be interesting to watch this documentary, which starts this week. I think it's going to be huge and really great, give you an insight, even if you're not a basketball lover, to get into the mindset of greatness and what it takes behind the scenes. And look, I'm not saying that you probably should be acting in the ways that from some of the short snippets that I've seen that MJ did, but there has to be that killer instinct if you want to be the great. There's nothing comes without sacrifice, right? So you can't have it all. And I think there'll be a great insight in this documentary. Moving on.
Just on that, just quickly before you, I mean, MJ was like that overall. Like he was notorious on the golf course, just wanting to beat you, right? You heard stories where he'd go play the finals at night, but go play golf in the morning, that sort of thing, and bet and try to beat you. And then I don't know if you saw the sort of Kobe memorial, but you saw the softer side of MJ as well. So I'm sure they've all got it, and Tiger's the same, right? But I guess what you're talking about is that when they step foot in any competitive situation, they just want to win.
Yeah. And that's what I think a lot of them lack. But going on to the next one, Wayne, you got to catch up with some greenkeepers from Ballarat Golf Club. What are those guys up to? There's, we talked about last episode, if course closed, we need to maintain the courses. Thankfully, there's guys out there maintaining courses. A lot of the courses are sending out some great photos of works done around the course and coring and whatnot, which is obviously a great idea to do this time. But what did your guys have to say?
Yeah, it was interesting. I actually went out yesterday and just created a bit of a video that we're going to put up in the next couple of days to send out to our members. So it's just more of a bit of an update. I had a chat to our general manager about what he's been up to, because we're in complete lockdown. So he's working 2.5 days a week. But we actually do have 2 greenkeepers. We normally have 6.5 greenkeepers. So it's either 6 to 7, depending on seasonal. So we're back to 2 at the moment, and they're working 3 days a week. So primarily what they're doing is, the biggest issue is making sure you look after the greens. So they're mowing, rolling, and the greens and things like that. It was interesting yesterday when I went out there. I said, looking at the greens, and said that the green actually looked a little bit longer than it normally did. And he said, yeah, we've actually let it go. We've only cut it once this week, not 3 times. Because they've actually put some pole retardant, because Ballarat does get little strains of pole that comes through the greens. So, and the problem is it makes the greens, a little bit patchy. And he said the problem is you can't really do it too much when you're in play, because it spreads the chemical and it basically, it makes the greens look patchy. So he said now's this perfect opportunity where they can sort of concentrate and do this sort of stuff, because they haven't got the members on there looking at it and carrying the chemical around. It was quite amazing to walk onto greens and see no divots.
Some of the courses I'm looking at look amazing, because they're just caring for them. They're updating. The cuts are pure, but no one's been using it, right?
Yeah, it's just and like even walking down the fairways, the divots that you normally always see divots, covered with sand in different places, with the people doing the right things. There was barely any of those kicking around. So, but the other thing we had a quick look at too was we've actually done some redevelopment on one of the holes, and we've sort of hung off opening that part of the hole up. But now, because there's been nobody out there, nobody on it, it's just gone gangbusters, and it's greened up. They re-sod it all, so it's all rejoined. So yes, even though we are missing out on our golf, the golf courses are getting this great opportunity.
I want to get out there.
They're getting this great opportunity to really splurge. So you're going to find the worst part's going to be is we're going to get back, and when we get back out there, primarily it's probably going to be winter. So most of the courses in Victoria and in the lower part of Australia will be dormant. So the grass will start to brown off. but they're still going to be in fantastic conditions. And I know every golf course has probably still got their greenkeepers out there looking after them.
So just on that, and it's a fair point. I mean, I was talking to a few golf clubs, and not so much greenkeepers, but the club itself, and they were saying that they're doing a lot of coring sanding over here. I'm not sure what's happening over east,
Yep.
but they're doing a lot of that here, and they're saying that the golf course has never had the opportunity after a core and sand to have no one play on it.
Exactly right. Yeah,
right?
exactly right.
Like no one stepped foot on it. So do you think that this, if the golf course comes back $1 million, let's say, right? Is there an opportunity, or will there be an opportunity now to say, or make a case for it where they shut down for a week? No play for it. I don't know. I'm just saying, is that would we all, we play golf and we want it all to be in really good conditions, right? We would like the greens to be rolling really true and stuff like that. But like we've just said, when you guys are all itching out to get a game, is that we still do play when it's cored and sanded.
So what you're trying to say is that managing a golf course is like managing COVID-19. It's a balance between health and money.
Oh, or the conditions of the course, right? Like you've got to, I don't know. There could be a case for it where if it does bounce back really good.
In a perfect world, it would be the by far the best solution to be able to sort of do that type of work and be able to let it settle and let it bed itself in by far. And like you find there's a lot of the metro courses have they have 19 holes. So the opportunity they've got there is if they want to do something that's going to take a little bit of time for it to get itself back to playing condition, they can take a hole out of play and put another hole into play. So there's a big advantage there. But like, I don't know if you've probably all seen the photos that are kicking around of the world at the moment, and how the world, they're saying that the world has healed over the last, with photos of places that you've never ever seen, that you can't see things because of the smog and all those little bits and pieces. So it's not just the golf courses that are benefiting from this. It's really Earth, planet Earth. We're getting a big advantage from it. But the thing is, as I said, I think if we went back out to members now and said, look, we're going to close down for 2 weeks, I think after we opened again, I think there would be a royal commission. So yeah.
Or that does this re-raise conversation around reciprocal rights and courses working together, especially when we're so saturated with golf courses? Hey, we're going to shut down for a few weeks, but you get to play this course, and then vice versa. And that gives it, especially through winter and quieter times, courses working together to benefit the course and benefit its members.
In a perfect world, in a perfect world, yes, yeah, yep.
Why can't we all just get along?
But I'll tell you one other thing that did appear in one of our local papers this week, which was interesting. There's a smaller course here in town that is a great little course. It's basically just member based. These guys don't get irrigation, so during the really hot periods, they really suffer with not having lots of grass there. But the only drama is they don't have a lot of fences around their course, and subsequently some idiot in a car went in there at the weekend and actually chucked burnouts on 2 holes, not 2 holes, 2 greens. So they've literally just ripped the greens up. So it's just
what is wrong with people?
Yeah, you'd love to take a 3-iron to the basket.
Are they your mates, Ken? You send your mates over to Ballarat from Perth?
I'm not that way inclined. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's obviously shite, to say the least. And any idiots thinking of doing anything like that, think again. People just don't understand the impact that they have when they do dumb things like that. Obviously, bored, selfish, and just a basket case move.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we have our backyard set up for the week, which we'll put up now. This came in from Ben, and he's got his 2 young boys. What a setup. Wayne, makes yours look second rate. Sorry, buddy.
Thanks. No, he's got a great little setup there, and you can see, I think the camera's a little bit shaky there to start with. I think it's his son that's actually videoing it. So you can see Ben out there chipping, and then his young fella jumps on there and has a bit of a chip as well. So, great. Look, as I said, if you can do it, it's a great opportunity. It's, great fun. But one of the ones I'm just going to quickly post.
Hey, hang on. He's got a bunker and you don't.
No,
What are you going to do about it?
You've only got a hole.
I know you. You don't want to be one up. So have you already started digging a hole out there, chopping some trees?
No, there's a really easy
stand in.
There's a really easy solution. Just don't hit your ball in the bunkers.
Is there no bunkers at Ballarat, mate?
Yeah, there's plenty, but you just avoid them. You just don't go in them. So, well, one other quick video I'm going to post up there as well at the moment. Just a quick look. This popped up. I saw during the week. It's a guy by the name of David Peltz, who's quite he's a golf coach over in the States.
And
sorry,
he's a short game coach.
He's a short game coach. I was unaware of him. So there you go. Okay.
Yeah, it's really. I think. Don't quote me. I think he worked with Tiger at the very start, and then I think. But he's worked with many famous PGA pros before.
Well, there you go. So check out these images I'm just showing you now. This is his backyard. He's got an 8-hole complex in there, and it's got heaps of bunkers and stuff like that. But, he's got chipping holes and he's got longer holes and stuff like that. So, guys, this is amazing. So, as I said last week, I mentioned to you to have a look at Mark Wahlberg's. This one is pretty special as well. So, yeah.
So I'm just putting up my bank account details now. If everyone can donate, I'll promise you I'll make the best backyard setup possible.
The GoFundMe account.
We're going to start a GoFundMe page.
If everybody chips in, if we get to a couple of mil, I promise you can come and use it. No problems. So, Kian, you wanted to talk about some products this week. Obviously, with COVID-19 lockdown, there's not a lot in the way of new toys coming out. We do have something set for our next episode. But
none of us have bought new toys.
What's that?
None of us have bought new toys this week because we had to be a little
can't buy new toys.
No, absolutely not. So, Kian, you actually have a problem with some of the new toys that are coming through.
Not so much a problem. I think I'm a bit of a traditionalist, right? I like the traditional game of golf. I don't believe in, this foot golf or anything like that. And, if you're going to play golf, it's generally 9 or 18 holes for me. 13 holes doesn't do it. So,
if those that can't tell, Kian's a traditionalist. Hang on. Just let me.
Correct.
Sorry, yeah.
Okay, no, I do it because I've got a long neck. You guys don't have a long neck. You guys got no necks. You guys are too fat.
Personal.
So the one, and we'll share some images of this, but I guess some of the new golf balls that have come out recently, not new, sorry, they've been around for a while, but the Callaway True Viz, so they have the little images on the ball itself, and then TaylorMade have got the, I think it's called Pix. I just said, a golf ball is a golf ball to me. It should be generally white. I'm not a fan of the yellow and the green and the orange and all that. It's a white golf ball, and that's what we should be playing with.
So we've got the Asian guy being racist against golf balls.
Yeah, correct. All colours. Like I said, I'm a traditionalist, so I guess it's just talking about that and what we think is. I mean, what they're saying is that when you put these markings on the golf ball, you align better and your eyesight's better at the golf ball. So it'd be interesting to get your guys' thoughts on it.
Yeah, well, the Callaway one's an interesting one. Like, I know. So I use a Pro V, but I have a little ball marker, so I actually put a line through the Titleist, which I actually use for lining up. So basically, the Callaway one's doing that for you automatically. So it's, you've got the line on there. The interesting thing that Callaway brought out, I don't know if you've actually seen this, but they actually brought a new range of putters out, and the putter actually has exactly the same line set up as what's on the ball. So theoretically, you line the ball up to the hole, and then you line the lines on the putter up to the lines on the ball, and you should get, theoretically, a square stroke, a nice square impacted stroke. So that was an interesting way that sort of Callaway went about it. The TaylorMade one on my side of things, look, yeah, pretty cool. I don't want. I probably wouldn't use one. I'm a traditionalist white ball user as well, so the only time we use a colour one.
So you call me racist.
So I reckon that if you're a soccer fan, a lot of the boys that I know that like soccer like the markings on the ball, especially the True Viz with the soccer ball markings. I don't mind it. It's a bit gimmicky. I actually find it more distracting because you've got too many marks on the ball when you're lining up for a putt, so I prefer one line. But I have to say, and I copped some flack for this, especially from Brad at Ainsbury, I bought some yellow AVXs, and they're great. the amount of times I could find my ball and see my ball before anyone else had an idea where theirs were was brilliant. So I'm happy to sacrifice losing the white if it means I can spot my ball easier.
Well, that's because Wayne and I don't go in the bush all that much. So I don't know what you're talking about. What's a bush to us?
Sorry,
Don't even see it, do we, Wayne?
What are you playing off again these days, Keen?
Oh, mate, anytime you want to play for money, I'm there. You know that.
Actually, talking about losing money.
I knew this was coming.
The bald fella and I had a bit of a grudge match yesterday on the Xbox, and we played what's it called? Golf.
PGA Tour 19 golf.
PGA Tour 19, and we've just played 9 holes at TPC Sawgrass. And how many holes did you win?
I halved 2.
So that takes our yearly tally now up to, because it was 9 holes, I only take half. So our yearly tally now is $2,500.
Right. Hang on.
So I can't work out. Wait.
Can you make a bet after the fact, or do you need to state the bet before play starts?
No. The statement was at the start of the year, every time we played golf, that we would play for $1,000 over 18 holes. So this was 9 holes. So
on a computer.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's golf.
You've played many a times, and it was like my second rodeo.
It's golf.
So I'm trying to work out if Christian sucks or Wayne, you've got too much time on your hands playing computer games. And being an old fella, how do you know how to play computer games?
Hey, I reckon if we stay locked down for too long, we'll actually end up with a live match on our Facebook page, and people can bet on it and put wagers and give us some crap along the way.
There's actually, I'm sorry, but our it's been taken already. They're actually out there already. It's a couple of the golf discussion pages I'm on. There's people actually set tournaments up, and you've got a week to play the first round and a week to play the second round. And I'm not sure entry fees or big prize money, but it's out there. So if you're after a game of golf, there's a couple of really good games out there. So that one's actually quite good.
Okay, if any of our followers want us to set up a tournament, let us know. We're more than happy to do it.
And Christian's an easy beat, everyone. So take him on.
I won't be winning anything, I'll tell you that much. All right. Well, that almost wraps it up, except for a funny story for the week. And mine comes from a memory not too long ago at Royal Melbourne, going down a par 5 and just walking along the fairway. And see, contrary to your opinion, Ken, I was on the fairway, but so was one of my other playing partners.
Were you third on the fairway?
What's that?
Was that for your third shot?
Yeah, my shoes were wondering what was going on. It was quite a nice walk. But I look across and I see this nice little family of ducks just walking nicely across the fairway. And as we come across, of course, they start scooting along, and the parents are walking their little ducklings. And then I start getting ready, get the club out, get ready for my shot. And all of a sudden I hear in the background, I'm like, what the hell? I see clubs all over the floor, bags come off the pool trolley, trolleys on the floor, 6'5" big boy Brendan down on the floor, while the male duck on the back of his neck is attacking the back of his head and just going hell for leather. And I could not for the life of me go and help him. I was in stitches. I was on the floor. I had my club in hand, and he's rolling around like, what the hell's going on? Get this. And all because he'd come too close to the ducklings, and self-defense mode kicked in. But it was the best thing I saw. When he got up in the end, he looked like Wayne on our last video cast. Where just got out of bed, hair everywhere, shirt up here. So that was my funniest moment on a golf course by far.
Oh, very good.
Oh, good.
All right, boys.
That's it.
That's it for today. We'll see you next week. I think we're going to have a special guest with a golf pro on our next episode, which would be good to talk to Dave from Ballarat, see what he's been up to as a golf professional, how business has impacted him, and hopefully some tips for all the golfers at home as to what they can be doing to stay fresh with their game. But stay tuned to our social media pages. We'll keep posting things up there. If there's anything any of you guys, our audience out there, wants us to cover in topics, any promotions, any little fun things that we want to do, any videos that you want to send in, sign up to the Club BGA Facebook group chat page. Anyone can post anything on there. And boys, I will speak to you guys next week, no doubt.
Thank you. Stay safe, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, stay home.
See ya.
Yeah.